What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day as always. So today we're actually going over the worst Jeep WJ mods. Just ones that are not good, they're not built right, or just not worth the money in all. Some of them I have on my black WJ. Some of them I have not installed just because, they're not good and I'm not going to install them on my Jeep. But we're going to go over the worst Jeep WJ mods in this video. Now, before we get into that, I did want to go over that this video is not really intended in a negative way towards any of these companies. They all have their place on certain builds and stuff like that. But these are just what I found over the years of building Jeeps, what I found by running some of these parts myself, installing some of these parts myself. This video is just meant to help out new Jeep owners looking to modify their Jeep, help them with some tips before they go out and buy parts, before they go out and waste some money on some stuff that's not really worth it, and there's better options out there for a similar price range. So this video is more to help people. It's not to bash any of these companies or anything like that. It's just to show you guys there's better options out there and what WJ mods you should honestly avoid. So the first thing on the list is the EAG rear bumper. I have a ton of these parts on my WJ that just aren't the best, but this one's definitely on the list. So now you guys might recall that I did make a video on this back when this was extremely cheap on Amazon, and I said it was worth the price. That was when it was like $300. Now it's gone up to like above 500, and it's genuinely just, it's not worth that really. It's not made well. The coating on it's not even good. I had to rebedline all of this, but it's just not worth it at all, especially for the new price. There's just so many better options out there. Detail makes an awesome bumper for the WJ. You guys can see how thin this is, and I would definitely look into like a Detail one, or there's a couple other brands out there that make really good bumpers, and they're not a lot more than this, honestly. At this point, it's definitely not worth more than $500, and I definitely wouldn't recommend this to somebody. They're not very strong. On this one will be custom building one, just because this one's not really ideal. Even down to performance, just like the departure angle is terrible. Next up is the DBM fender like armor things. So these are actually a really cool idea. The product's really cool, but as you can see, the fit is terrible. They're not bent to fit the car. I actually reached out to the owner of this company when I went to install them about why they're not curved. I'll show you on this one, but there's a curve there on the side of your WJ, and these panels came and they were flat. However, on the website, it said that they were bent to fit the contours of the WJ body. So I was expecting them to be bent, right? Nope, they're not bent. He said there was like no economical way that he could bend them and have them produced like that, which, I mean, that sucks and all, but don't sell them as if they're bent to fit your car when they're not. And the only thing holding these in are some pretty small like riv nuts. So it's not the strongest mounting setup, honestly, to be able to bend that thick of a metal down to fit the body of the car. Now, if you really took your time, you could probably, modify these a little bit and get them to adjust. It would be nice to have trees not hit this window. It's a good idea. It's a really good idea. If somebody could make these that were bent to the car, it definitely would do really well. These just aren't that. Next up is a super common thing. It actually has to do with the drive shafts, and I don't have this part on any of my Jeeps because it's a total waste of money. But the correct way to upgrade your drive shafts when they get all worn out would be upgrading to the U-joint style drive shafts, or getting custom drive shafts made that also have the U-joints. So let me show you what I'm talking about. On the factory axle shafts on a lot of the WJs are these CV joints, which are complete junk if you want to lift your car. Honestly, they're kind of junk if you're not even going to lift it, to be completely honest. But they're usable at that point. But when you lift it, the angle just gets way too far and it wears those joints out super fast. So you can either go ahead and throw the replacement drive shaft in, which is kind of expensive, or you can go ahead and replace it. And they make actual end joints, and those are the products we're going to talk about, is the end joints on there that just replace those CV joints. They're supposed to be upgraded a little bit for off-roading. However, it's basically a temporary fix to your problem. Even on a 4-inch lift, it's going to wear out those joints super quick, and it's just kind of like a band-aid that will postpone that issue until a later point. And they're not really cheap, so like you're kind of just wasting money at that point. The correct way to do it would be upgrading to some aftermarket drive shafts. It's what we did in the Wrangler, it's what we'll be doing on the blue one, and eventually we'll be doing on the black one as well. Now, if you have a smaller lift, like I believe it's 4 inches or less, you are able to go to the junkyard and get one of the drive shafts that have U-joints on both ends. And this is a lot better for a lifted application. Corrects the angles a lot better, and it's just a much stronger, better setup that will last a lot longer. Usually you can get these for like 40 bucks, 30 bucks. You're also going to need to grab the yokes off of the axles. This isn't the one you're going to need, but it'll be on the axle. You're going to need to grab both ends, so the transfer case side and the axle side yokes. Super simple. You just take the nut off and slide it out and you got the yokes. Super easy to install as well. But this is a pretty good upgrade if you're not running a big lift. Unfortunately, the Blue Jeep is 100% going to need custom drive shafts. But if you are in the market for custom drive shafts, I would hit up the guys over at Adams Driveshafts. They do an amazing job. It's actually run on the Wrangler, and I've never had one issue with those. And we've been beating on this thing for a long time on those drive shafts, and they've held up amazing so far. So that basically wraps up my list of the worst Jeep WJ mods. I know some people are going to comment, oh, why didn't you put a rough country lift on there? All that kind of stuff. So the rough country lifts, obviously not the best, obviously not ideal. However, there's nothing wrong with them on certain builds. It all depends what you want your Jeep to look like, what you want your Jeep to run like, how you want to perform off-road, all that stuff. So that's not really necessarily a terrible product. It just depends on what you want to use your Jeep for. If you just want to do some casual wheeling every once in a while, you're not going to be on the trails every weekend, you just want a lifted Jeep that looks good and you can put some bigger tires on, it's fine, it's okay. Definitely some parts of the lift kit I'd upgrade, but there's nothing wrong with it. I know I'm going to get some comments like that, so I figured I'd address that now before we end the video. But now that we've gone over all that, those are the worst WJ mods, in my opinion, the ones that you should probably avoid, or ones that there's way better options out there to get. Now, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing on the previous videos. You guys have been killing it. Today I'm working on shipping out a bunch of orders. So if you guys place an order, keep a lookout for tracking information. If you guys haven't checked out the website, make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. I'll link it down below in the description so you guys can check that out. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.